All right, now, this is SSSVEDA Day 10, Excel Ignited Day 10. And I have the unmitigated gall to show you pivot tables right now. Pivot tables are often seen as intermediate Excel skill. They're not. And you will see how helpful they can be for a beginner who at least thinks about their data in a proper way and lays out their data properly. In previous videos, I've mentioned spreadsheet layout as a killer of spreadsheets. It makes it hard to get data out. Man, it's a mess. So why am I going to show you pivot tables and talk about spreadsheet layout right now? I haven't shown you VLOOKUP, and here's why we're doing it now. In my workshops, I often do a rodeo session. And that's where people can plug in their computer and show us their real work or real challenge that they have and get help on that. Time and time again, what I've seen, bad layout. I haven't seen many people who needed to know how to use offset. In one of those rodeo sessions, I saw a nonprofit. This person was trying to say how many kids had gone through various programs, how many unique kids, how many kids had come through multiple times, how many of each of those, are they serving more kids or less kids? But he couldn't do it because he had a tab for each program in Excel. And he wasn't comfortable with the kind of formulas that he would have to write. And we discovered he didn't have to write any formulas. He needed to sweep all that stuff together and use a pivot table. Let's say we've got people who take an exam and they were on different cycles. March A cycle, March B cycle, through to June B cycle. And we have a list of the exam takers and the exam cycle and their score. We've got April A. Here we go. This makes sense if we want to look at just April A. But what happens if we want to know how many times has Gwen taken this exam? Did she only take it this one time and got a 97 and passed and now she's done? What about Sandy? Sandy scored a 66, which likely was failing. Did Sandy take the exam again? If so, did Sandy pass or fail? What's happening? What if we want to get some average scores across all of these different cycles? That would be really hard to do, and you do need sophisticated formulas in order to do that. But look here, with the data all in one place, we can do so much. We can separate the passing people from the failing people and do some analysis of the people who failed. We can peel out the people who've taken the exam more than one time versus the people who've only taken it one time. And here is the pivot table. Watch closely. Go to Insert with my cursor inside this data set. Insert Pivot Table. I do want it onto a new worksheet. Okay. Let's put in score, values, and exam cycle and rows. Now we can put our exam taker under exam cycle. Okay. Now we're doing something. We can even take this sum of score, because that doesn't tell us anything, and convert that to, say, average. Okay, so the average in April A was 83.75. March was pretty bad. And one thing that hurts March is Teresa's 0. Now let's go ahead and do some formulas, and 75 is passing. Let's do this, passing. 75. Let's put P for pass, fail, equals if. Logical test, we did ifs in a previous video. C2 is greater than or equal to H1, and then we need to do our absolute cell references. F4. Okay. If the value in C2 is greater than or equal to the passing mark, then I'm going to put capital P in double quotes. Otherwise, put an F for failed. Close the parentheses. Now double click. All right. Tara 84 passed. Jackie 79 passed. Excellent. Now here's one thing that we have to do since we added more data to our pivot table. We have to go to analyze and change data source. And look at the marching ants. They don't have this new column D that we added. So we do have to add that. And that would be D. Okay. Now notice we've got our pass fail column. Let's put pass fail here. Now to separate it out, and I don't need the subtotals. I'm going to change the format of the pivot table. Design, report layout. I want it tabular. So now we're looking at tabular. I don't want subtotals. Don't show subtotals. Really don't need them right now. I really don't need his grand total either. And if I want, I could just look at people who failed. So look at that. Philip has failed twice. Now see, that's all the pivot table is. It is a way of looking at your data from a lot of different angles, getting some simple summaries, averages, a lot of things that you can get from it without doing formulas. Now check out some of the other things we can do with the pivot table. Put exam taker in rows and exam taker also in values. Right. Lan has taken this twice. Sandy has taken it 3 times. Teresa twice. What if we put the exam cycle in the columns? Okay, now we see March A. These people took the exam March A. And let's now look at the scores. Take out the count from values and put in the scores. So where was Sandy? 3 times. And Sandy has not passed yet after 3 times taking this exam. And now we see Teresa scored a 0, but then scored a 96. That was March B when she scored the 0, and then April A is when she scored the 96. So see, this is why I say pivot tables are not a beginner, intermediate, advanced feature to use. It's a helpful feature. and it's not hard to use. You just need to lay your data out right and think about what you want.